Hey guys, Tony here, and today we're going to be talking about the spoilers for the new Fallout product that just got announced. It was announced while I was at school, so I didn't get a chance to make a video on it, but I am now, and I am super excited. I got a lot to talk about, several pages of just stuff. I know, again, you can't really see it because it's pencil, my bad. But today we're going to be talking about the decks that got announced, the themes that have been shown off so far, my thoughts on it, and yeah, let's just jump right into it. I'm super hyped. So jumping right into this, we got a Naya equipment deck featuring Dogmeat as the shown off commander so far. By the way, we don't know if these commanders are going to be the ultimate commanders for the deck, or these are just the commanders they're deciding to show off now. It would be out of character for Wizards to show off other than the face commander, but could be. And the reason I bring that up is because Dogmeat feels like a really weird face commander, but one I'm not super against. Then we have a Maru sack and token deck based on New Vegas. We got Kaiser as the leader for that one, which I'm super hyped on. We'll be talking more about that for sure. Then we have Dr. Lee heading a Jeskai energy deck, seemingly based on Fallout 3 and 4. And then we have a Sultai counters deck based on Fallout 76. The commander for that one that they've shown off so far is Mothman. Now these decks, from what I can tell from these early previews, seem to be exactly what I was looking for. I have never been happy to be more wrong. I thought Bethesda would really ham-fist a bunch of Fallout 4 in there, and it really doesn't look like that's the case, especially looking at that Caesar's Legion commander deck. Another legendary creature that they did mention was Robert Edwin House. The Mr. House commander is super on flavor. It has you rolling dice. I'm sure, I am absolutely certain that the price of the D&D cards that have anything to do with rolling dice are going to skyrocket, so if you want them, probably get them now. But yeah, that Mr. House card is super on flavor. I love it. I'm actually going to build that one probably as a level 5 commander deck. I don't really have a casual deck at the moment. So now looking at the flavor of these things, we have Dogmeat as a Naya commander that cares about equipment. Fallout 1 and 2 was very much about collecting items and really heavy into storytelling, but when you think about Fallout 1 and 2 in a vacuum, what I remember doing most is collecting items and trying on new equipment and trying to min-max my character to get the most powerful character. And you do that in the other Fallouts, but it feels like they have other things that first stick out in your mind. Fallout 1 and 2 very much felt like the equipment, the gathering, the murder hobo simulators. The flavor for the Naya one seems really strong. The Maru and Jeskai decks, so the Caesar's Legion and the Dr. Lee decks, they also feel really strong on flavor. Caesar's Legion so much, I really want to get into it, but I'm saving for last. The Jeskai deck with Dr. Lee, the energy counters, I was just thinking last week, I never thought we'd have an energy counters commander, like a good one, and now we've got Dr. Lee coming out, who seems really strong. Like by far the strongest one we've seen in a while. And for Fallout 76, I hate to be that guy, but I've never played much of Fallout 76. Like, I think I mentioned this in the last video. I played the first week or two that it came out and I stopped. It was very glitchy at the time. It's not something I was super into anyway. When I wanted multiplayer Fallout, I wanted me and a couple of my buddies just exploring a Mojave Desert or Capital Wasteland. I didn't really want Minecraft kind of sandbox, which is what Fallout 76 felt like, just kind of an empty sandbox with the Fallout skin, which is fine, just wasn't for me. I say all that to say I have very little awareness of whether the Mothman is on flavor or not, but it seems like it is. The rad counter stuff and the +1/+1, the milling, that seems very Fallout-y to me, so I'm happy with it. If you play Fallout 76, let me know in the comments if that does feel on flavor to you. I can't say for sure. So we got to look at some other things, one of them being bobbleheads, which I was not expecting, but I guess they had to do it now based on the fact that bobbleheads are going to be serialized. There'll be 7 bobbleheads and there'll be 1 of 500 for each of them, which is pretty cool. Looking at the card mechanically, I think it's really interesting. They do feel like special point increases when you get to play them. The one we got to see today was the intelligence bobblehead. If they all follow suit, they all are 3 mana rocks, add 1 mana of any color, which is fine, and then they have an effect that's very closely based on their special attribute. So the intelligence one, 5 and tap, draw X cards, where X is the number of bobbleheads you have, and that feels very on theme. Getting more skill points in the other Fallout games is very much based on your intelligence, so if we're equating skill points to drawing cards, then yeah, that works out pretty well. And if you're build your character up with a lot of special points, then you're going to get to draw a lot more cards. Some other cards we got to look at today, we got to look at Rex from Fallout New Vegas. He's in Azorius colors, which means he cannot be in the Caesar's Legion deck, which is very interesting to me. Rex famously being Caesar's dog. You can actually see a Red Bull painted on the side of Rex because he used to be Caesar's dog, but I think that's an interesting inclusion. We got to see the Vault 101 birthday party for the Lone Wanderer.
Or kid. Happy birthday!
As a saga, it's pretty cool. I don't feel like it's super strong, but I didn't think the birthday party was super strong in the opening scene of Fallout 3, so I guess there's that.
Got him!
The flavor is fantastic, though. I really like that as a saga, and since that's a saga, I'm really hoping we get to see more big events take place over sagas like we did with Doctor Who. Again, I'm not super familiar with Doctor Who, I just started watching it, but we did get to see some episodes, from my understanding, play out through sagas, and I'm hoping we get the same kind of thing here. Again, I mentioned in my last video the Battle of Hoover Dam, but some other really cool events to see would be like the Battle of Helios, which I'm pretty sure I also mentioned. Leaving the vault in Fallout 2 for the first time, that could be really cool. The intro to Fallout New Vegas getting shot in the head. Prydwen showing up in the Commonwealth for the first time, that could be really neat. Another card we got was the Gary clone with Squad 2, so you get the famous meme from Fallout 3 where you had a bunch of Garys and they're just a bunch of clones of each other. You pay more mana, you get more Gary clones. The flavor text says Gary. I think that's fantastic. One of the best things they could have done right there. We also got to see a feral ghoul, black creature. Whenever another creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on the feral ghoul, and then when it dies, it gives rad counters to everything. And this is a new mechanic we're seeing specifically for the Fallout franchise that's going into Magic the Gathering. Rad counters. We got to see a rad token as well, which is really neat. Radiation says as such, at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, if you have any rad counters, mill that many cards. For each non-land card milled this way, you lose 1 life and get a rad counter. I don't know. I mean, like, milling is also just kind of really strong, so I don't know if radiation is going to be that big of a deal, like getting more rad counters, losing life, but Sultai wants to mill, and the Mothman. So I guess we should talk about the commanders and what they do. I've mentioned them, but let's talk about them a little more specifically. Again, I have a lot to say on the Caesar's Legion one, so we're going to save that one for last. We've got Dogmeat, Everloyal. He's red, green, and white for a legendary creature dog, so that's going right in red in Siri, of course, as soon as this comes out. Whenever Dogmeat enters the battlefield, mill 5 cards. Then return an aura or equipment card from your graveyard to your hand. Whenever a creature you control that's enchanted or equipped attacks, create a junk token. Now, what's a junk token? A junk token is an artifact that has tap, sacrifice this artifact, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. Only activate as a sorcery. So that seems really good. Also, we see in Dogmeat's art, there's a human, probably just a settler with his hand on him. Looks like the red rocket in the back, so I'm guessing this is another Fallout 4 themed deck, is my guess. So very cool. We got an equipment or themed deck with a mill sub theme. We've got a Naya commander, so this is going to be interesting. Most equipment decks, when I think of them, are going to be in like Azorius or Maru or Boros. So we are in Boros, which is nice. Green is a weird one for me. We did just have that elf commander from the D&D set who cares about ores and equipment, so it's not unheard of, but it just feels like a weird space, but I'm excited to see what they do. We only got 1 card to spoil from the deck that we know of so far. We see other cards, we don't exactly know what decks they come from, so, you know. So we also have the deck names revealed. The deck name for this one is Scrappy Survivors, which I think is just cute. So next we've got the Sultai Mothman deck. So the Wise Mothman is 1, a black, a green, and a blue, so Sultai, for a legendary creature, insect mutant. Flying, whenever the Wise Mothman enters the battlefield or attacks, each player gets a rad counter. Whenever 1 or more non-land cards are milled, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to X target creatures, where X is the number of non-land cards milled this way. So, rad counters, milling, it's just very Sultai stuff. Not the rad counters, but we know about that. But just a lot of milling, a lot of effects for milling feels good. This is also where the Feral Ghoul card we talked about earlier is going to be. And then we get the radiation, obviously. And the deck name for this one is Mutant Menace, so I guess this is where all the mutants are going to go. And this does feel right. We'll probably see super mutants in this one as well. We've already seen Feral Ghouls, so any of the mutant cards I expect to see in here. We'll see a Deathclaw later, and I'm also certain that's going in here. So, but let's talk about the Dr. Madison Lee led Jeskai deck. Science! I can't do it. I'm going to have to insert the clip. You know the clip I'm talking about.
Yes, science!
But yeah, this is Dr. Madison Lee, just Jeskai, blue, red, and white for a legendary creature, human scientist. And she has the following abilities. Have I mentioned the power toughness of any of these guys? Well, dog meat and the wise mouth men are 3/3s, so that makes it easy. But she's a 2/3 human scientist. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you get an energy counter. Tap, pay an energy, target creature gets +1/+0 and gains trample and haste till end of turn. Tap and pay 3 energy, draw a card. Tap and pay 5 energy, return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So we have a really, really strong Jeskai commander right now for artifacts. That's pretty cool. Artifact spaces are usually Azorius, so we're already going to have a lot of support there. And that also exists within Izzet, so that's pretty nice. Boros, not so much, but it exists. This is going to be a really strong deck, I feel. And plus, we're getting energy counters back, which is super exciting. We have been wanting energy counters for so long. And in this deck, supposedly as well, we're going to have Rex Cyberhound, like I mentioned, that's Caesar's dog. He's a legendary artifact creature, robot dog, a 2/2, for 1, a white, and a blue. And whenever Rex Cyberhound deals combat damage to a player, they mill 2 cards, and you get 2 energy. Pay 2 energy, choose target creature card in a graveyard, exile it with a brain counter on it, activate only as a sorcery. So, that's pretty strong as well. Oh, right, so the man of the hour, the one I have been most excited about, a really young looking Caesar, Edward Sallow on the cover here for his commander deck. Hail Caesar is his deck's name, and it is Maru colors, so red, white, and black. I'm very excited about this one, as you could probably tell by the tone of my voice and how many times I've mentioned it. So he's Caesar, Legion's Emperor, for 1, a red, a white, and a black. He's a legendary creature, human soldier, 4/4, so the strongest face commander we've seen so far. Whenever you attack, you may sacrifice another creature. When you do, choose 2 of the following abilities. Create 2 red and white soldier creature tokens with haste that are tapped and attacking. You draw a card and lose 1 life. Or Season Legion's Emperor deals damage equal to the number of creature tokens you control to target opponent. This dude is powerful. This is an automatic day 1 build for me, but hold on, I'm gonna come back to this. But the other card that we already know comes in this deck is the Gary clones we talked about earlier, which is pretty cool. He's a 1/3 if I hadn't mentioned it. Oh man, I am super excited for a Caesar's Legion led deck. My man looks really, really young in this picture. Like, this must be like a before the Battle of Hoover Dam, like Caesar right here. This is a young man. I am very excited to see it. We also get to see 2 veteran legionaries behind him. He just looks powerful and posing. He's on his classic throne. I am super hyped about this. Caesar's Legion deck seems to be like the simplest deck by a lot. A simple strategy for a simple man.
Praetorians, to me! Damn you! They knew it.
I'm just kidding. Even if Snuffles is smarter than Caesar, canonically. Yeah, I absolutely love Maru builds, and I'm super excited to be able to probably take apart my Negan deck and make this a Caesar's Legion deck. Maybe make it my Universes Beyond deck. I've been working on that one for a while, slowly but surely, so that's probably what I'll do with this one. Otherwise, just super excited about this. Rebuild my Maru Negan deck in Caesar's image. Feels right. They're like the same guy, really, you know?
What exactly are you proposing to be done about that?
Alright, so we got some other cards to talk about. I know this is probably going to be a longer video. I'm sorry, I just got a lot to say. The arts for Soul Ring and Arcane Signet and such. Let's talk about them. So we've got some pretty notable reprints here. We've got Arcane Signet, Crucible of Worlds, Soul Ring, and Wasteland. And they are in some really stylized, good-looking art. I love them all quite a bit. I really dig the Crucible Worlds being the Gek in that Fallout Vault Boy kind of style. It's really pretty, it's really beautiful. I'm gonna get that in foil day 1. We're also getting a reprint of Wasteland, which is kind of crazy to me. I mean, it fits. This is the time to do it if you're gonna do it, right? But these are really nice looking. The Arcane Signet being the Pip-Boy. I can't tell which Pip-Boy it is. It's, you know, it's cartoon Pip-Boy, but looks really nice. The Pip-Boy's actually the Vault Boy who's playing with the Pip-Boy is actually playing a game, it appears, with a Vault Boy inside a Pip-Boy playing a game. It seems it's like a Ouroboros eating its own tail thing. This is very cool, very cute. I love the art on those 3. The Soul Ring, I'm gonna say it, and I know this is probably not gonna be a popular opinion. I don't love the Soul Ring. It's just kind of a Vault Boy doing his classic look out for the nuke pose with the vault door opening, with the light shining through. It is a ring. It does give off light, which is Soul Ring, but I don't know if I love this. I think I would have preferred it being something else. I can't tell you exactly what that is, but this feels kind of but I really love the other ones. Crucible Worlds as a reprint is kind of insane. I guess you need it. It's probably going in that Mothman deck based on how much milling you're doing, or maybe in the Naya deck. Don't know where Wasteland's going, but I'm going to guess the Caesar's Legion deck. These are just really nice. I am a fan of the 3. And I also, at the same time, want to talk about the basic lands we got. It seems to be a series of lands with a character. I don't want to say the protagonists, but a character looking off in the distance. And the plains, we've got what appears to be Nora from Fallout 4 looking off into an empty wasteland. We've got an island, what looks like, again, it's Nora looking over Libertalia from Fallout 4, which is really nice. We've got a character and Dogmeat exploring the glowing sea. We've got a man in power armor and Dogmeat looking at what appears to be a red rocket with a mountain in the background. I'm not exactly sure where this is. Don't crucify me in the comments, but I just can't remember. And then we've got Nora again with Dogmeat looking at a settlement, it would appear. It doesn't look like any specific settlement, but it does look like a settlement. And then for the non-player character lands, we've got a train yard for plains. We've got, oh god, I know where this is. I've actually built a settlement here a long time ago using a mod, but I cannot remember. But this is also from Fallout 4. We've got the glowing sea again, maybe? This looks like the glowing sea. Oh, but I see like a Mothman on there, so maybe this is from Fallout 76. Not too familiar with that one. We've got some kind of foundry area. I was immediately going to say Quarry Junction, but that's not correct. That's not Quarry Junction. And this one, again, I'm just not familiar where this location is in the Fallout franchise, but it looks just like another settlement to me, which is fine. We've got some alt arts for some of the cards, and I've left out a couple of cards that I should probably go back and talk about. We don't know where these are coming from, but we have the Alpha Deathclaw. The Alpha Deathclaw is a 6 mana, so it's 4, a black and a green, lizard mutant with menace and trample. When Alpha Deathclaw enters the battlefield or becomes monstrous, destroy target permanent, which makes sense. He has monstrous for 5, a black and a green. He's a 6/6, really imposing character. Love the art on it. Looks like it's done by Darkin, actually. That's really cool. We have the command tower, and I'm telling you right now, every single commander deck I have is going to get swapped out with this command tower. It is the Lucky 38, and it looks fantastic. I'm going to get 20 foils of this. Every commander deck's going to have this command tower. It is my favorite now. New Vegas is more than a city. It's a remedy to mankind's derailment. Mr. House. Looks super nice. Love that. VATS, which is weird. I cannot believe I didn't talk about VATS yet. So VATS is an instant with split second on it. It's 2, a black and a black. Choose any number of target creatures with equal toughness. Destroy the target creatures. That's really cool, man. It's kind of like the percentage chance. Like, you know, it's not just letting you destroy anything. You've got to be aiming at something, right? So you're aiming at a 1 toughness creature, you'll destroy the other 1 toughness creature. That's really cool. Then you got Over Encumbered, a little bit funny one. Enchant Opponent. Whenever it's, sorry. Oh, I'm getting really excited. Over Encumbered's 1 and a white for enchantment aura, enchant opponent. When Over Encumbered enters the battlefield, enchant opponent creates a clue token, a food token, and a junk token. At the beginning of combat on the enchant opponent's turn, that player may pay 1 for each artifact they control. If they don't, creatures cannot attack this combat. That's pretty cool. So you can start dropping stuff out of your inventory or using the artifacts to get rid of them so they can start attacking, or otherwise you're too slow to attack, which is really funny. Nuka-Cola vending machines, an artifact for 3. It has 1 tap, create a food token, and whenever you sacrifice a food, create a tapped treasure token. So you're drinking the Nuka-Cola, taking off the cap, and creating a treasure because caps are money. And that makes sense, and that's really funny to me. I dig that a lot. You get an instant that says Radstorm. It's 3 and a blue for an instant that just says Storm and Proliferate. So if you want to cast this at the right moment, you'll storm and you'll just make your things huge. Radiation makes the mutants heal, so I guess that's the idea there. Pretty cool. And mutants are like, you know, modifications, so that kind of works. Mr. House President and CEO, I think I mentioned him, but let's actually read the card real quick. Mr. House President and CEO is a Maru commander, so red, a white, and a black. He takes up the entire top of the bar too, which is kind of crazy. He's a legendary artifact creature human, which is an interesting combination there. I mean, it is correct. Whenever you roll a 4 or higher, create a 3/3 colorless robot artifact creature token. If you rolled a 6 or higher, instead create that token and a treasure token. And then he has 4 in tap, roll a 6-sided die, plus an additional 6-sided die for each mana from treasure spent to activate this ability. So he's a treasure deck and a token deck. Seems really good. Seems like he's going to slot right into Negan. I'm very excited about that one. Or Negan will slot into him. I don't know yet. And again, I think all of those rolling dice cards from the D&D deck are going to spike super hard. And the Vault 101 birthday party, I think I mentioned this, but let's actually read it real quick. It's 3 and a white for a Saga. Create a 1/1 human soldier creature token and a food token. That's at chapter 1. Then you may put an aura equipment from your graveyard, from your hand or graveyard onto the battlefield. It's an equipment, put it onto the battlefield this way. You may attach it to a creature you control. So it's a Sigarda's Aid, chapters 2 and 3, which is pretty cool. Or it says the auto equip thing, which is nice. And I'm really into that. And that's all we know about. We get some looks at the packaging. Oh, actually, we get a look at some alt arts for the face commander. So I guess these are going to be the face commanders. It feels weird having Dogmeat as, you know, the guy, but whatever. He's ever loyal. And I think these arts are fantastic. I'm telling you right now, that Caesar's Legion in that Fallout text, oh my gosh, dude. These are fantastic. I'm absolutely going to get several copies of him. I am a big fan. So Kieran Yanner did the Dogmeat art, which is really nice, but in the alt art, it looks like, if I'm reading this correct, Mark Poole did Dogmeat in his VATS art, which is really nice. Oh my god, John Stanko did Madison Lee. Dang, now I might have to build a Dr. Madison Lee deck. I wasn't super pressed on it, but if my man John Stanko did it, I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to do that one, I think. Anyway, I'm rambling, and this video is getting really long. I'm really excited about this Fallout set, as you can probably tell, and yeah, I'm gonna get to go ahead and edit this. And if you wouldn't mind and you like the video, go ahead and hit a subscribe. I'm gonna be talking about a lot of Fallout stuff every time a spoiler comes out. Trust me, I'm gonna be here talking about it as soon as possible. So if you're interested, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And I really appreciate you checking out this video. Thanks, guys.
New Vegas is more than a city. It's the remedy to mankind's derailment. The city's economy is a blast furnace in which can be forged the steel of a new rail line running straight to a new horizon. What is the NCR? A society of people desperate to experience comfort, ease, luxury. A society of customers.